things flow effortlessly into your life. That's just the way it is.
Leverage and margin calls. Reading out loud. Only practice reading out loud. As discussed in the previous section, leverage can get tricky. Reading out loud for video record, and then will be to understand in Thai in the live stream. As discussed in the previous section, leverage can get tricky and may lead to margin calls when you don't know how to manage it properly. This section illustrates more examples on the common mistakes beginners make when handling leverage and how to avoid margin calls. Let's say you have a balance of 10,000 US dollar, which is initially equal to your equity and usable margin. Without taking any trades yet, your use margin is equal 0.0 US dollar. In the course of taking trades, your use margin will vary depend on how much you risk on the trade and your account leverage. But you will not have a margin call for as long as your equity is greater than your use margin. Once your equity falls below your use margin, your broker will give you a margin call, which basically means that you have to put in more cash to sustain your positions or close to your account altogether. In a trade example, let's say your broker has a 1% margin requirement and you trade one lot of EUR USD. Since you have a many account, your use margin or margin required is 100 US dollar per lot. With that, usable margin is now at 10,000 US dollar minus 100 or 9,900, and this margin is at 100 US dollar. If you buy 80 lots of EUR USD, you would wind up with a use margin of 100 multiplied by 80 lots or 8,000 US dollar. That way your usable margin is now at 10,000 US dollar minus 8,000, which is 2,000 US dollar. If price doesn't go in the direction of your trade, you could encounter a margin call once price goes 25 pips against you. This is because your due to margins of 8,000 US dollar at 100 US dollar per lot means that for every pips of movement in EUR USD translates to 80 US dollar in profit or loss. With 2,000 US dollar in usable margin, a 25 pip move against you or 25 multiplied by 80 could wipe out your usable margin. When that margin call happens, you would be out of the trade and take the 2,000 US dollar loss on your account. Once the trade is closed, your equity and balance will be at 8,000 US dollar for a total loss of 20% on your account. Bear in mind that EURUSD can move by as much as 50 pips per day, so there's a good chance at risking a large chunk of your account with a tight limit for encountering a margin call is almost guaranteed to lead to a loss. Another factor you have to consider when avoiding margin calls is the spread offered by the broker. So if the spread on EUR USD is at 2 pips, then price only has 75 pips minus 2 pips in leeway before resorting to a margin call in the previous example. When you open an account with the forex broker, you should make sure that you read the fine print concerning leverage or margin. Bear in mind that your open positions could be liquidated by the broker when your use margin exceeds your equity, so you should be fully aware of how these situations are handled depending on the terms and conditions of opening a trading account. Another way to avoid the dreaded margin call is to make sure that you make use of stop losses when you set your trades up. You should determine a line in the stand wherein your trade will be invalidated and base your position based on that value. This will be discussed in the succeeding sections. Leverage and margin call. The article from IC Market Global. I like green color. And violet color. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.